Imagine waking up, checking your phone, and seeing that a routine marketing giveaway just made you a multi-billionaire. For a few hundred traders on South Korea's Bithumb exchange on this past Friday, that wasn't a dream. It was a staggering, terrifying reality. This was supposed to be a random box event, a small gesture of appreciation where users would receive a prize of 2,000 Korean won. That's about $1.40. But due to a single keystroke error that will likely go down as the most expensive fat finger mistake in financial history, the system didn't send 2,000 won, it sent 2,000 Bitcoin. Guys, these numbers involved are difficult to wrap your head around. A staff member accidentally selected BTC instead of KRW as the currency unit for the payout, and instantly 249 lucky accounts were credited with a total of 620,000 Bitcoin. To put that in perspective, at current market prices, that gift was worth roughly $43 billion. Bithumb's total corporate and customer reserves are only about 43,000 Bitcoin. This single mistake effectively created a phantom supply on the exchange that was 14 times larger than the amount of Bitcoin the exchange actually owned. And while these ghost coins didn't exist on the actual blockchain, they existed on Bithumb's internal ledger, and for 35 minutes, that was all that mattered. So what is the impact on the market here? This resulted in a local, kind of what looked like a flash crash. So human nature took over almost immediately. Some users, realizing the error, didn't wait for an apology. They hit the sell button, and they hit it fast. And in a frantic half an hour, roughly 1,788 Bitcoin were dumped onto the Bithumb market. This massive wave of phantom selling overwhelmed the exchange's liquidity. While Bitcoin was trading steadily at 66K globally, the price on Bithumb plummeted by 17%, flash crashing to a local low of roughly 55,000. Bithumb eventually slammed the brakes though, freezing all withdrawals and trading. But by the time the dust settled, they had managed to claw back 99.7% of the mistaken funds by reversing internal ledger entries. However, about 125 Bitcoin, worth roughly $9 million, had already been moved off platform or swapped into other assets, leaving a hole that the exchange says it will cover with its own corporate funds. So what's the fallout of this? Okay, the financial loss that we saw, the 9 million bucks, that's only half the story. The reputational damage has sparked a firestorm in Seoul. FSS Governor Lee Chan-chin has now escalated the situation from a routine inspection to a formal investigation. Lee has been vocal, stating that this incident exposed structural vulnerabilities in how centralized exchanges manage their books. He's pushing for a new standard, mandatory real-time reserve proofing. The concern is simple. If an exchange can create $43 billion of Bitcoin out of thin air on its internal ledger, how can regulators or users ever be sure the assets on their screen actually exist? This is also a wake-up call for the Global Clarity Act, guys, right? The discussions that are happening in Washington, because it proves that the internal ledger system used by most big exchanges is a single point of failure. If one employee can accidentally crash a multi-billion-dollar market, the current internal controls aren't just weak, they're non-existent. So in closing, guys, what is the lesson for the rest of us? Bithumb has pledged to compensate users who were liquidated during the crash at 110% of their losses. Because guys, the price crashed and it shouldn't have, and people who bought on leverage were liquidated erroneously. They are also setting up a $68 million user protection fund. But as the FSS prepares for a 48-hour deep dive into their servers, the message to the crypto world is clear. Scarcity is the value of Bitcoin, but that scarcity only matters if the exchange you're using can actually prove they have the coins. For now, the random box event is over. And for Bithumb, it's a box they'll be wishing they never opened. Guys, this is Luke with Ledger Prime. We'll see you in the next one.